To start off the producers podcast, Tall Paul,
Yes.
Joseph with Jack Silver.
Yes.
I believe it or not, we've got a research department here at the producers podcast. Were you aware of that?
Where?
Well,
I wasn't, but that's good to know.
Yeah, it is good to
Really
know
good.
because our crack research department,
Yes.
and it's not really that they're that good.
Right.
They're just on crack, and, which is a very old joke that I figured I'd.
Well, it worked on me. I hadn't heard it. So
Yeah. Oh, good.
No.
Well, they've done some research because we were talking about trying to expand the universe
Okay.
of the producers podcast.
Yes.
And it seems to be that the most popular podcasts are ones that are very focused. Either it's politics or it's sports or it's current events. We have kind of done about 10 minutes on each topic and we kind of work through it like a morning show.
Right.
But evidently, according to the research, it would be better for us if we kind of honed in on one thing.
Oh, okay.
And I was wondering, I mean, do you have any thoughts on what that one thing should be? In other words, taking the whole universe
Right.
of all the things we've talked about
Okay.
and kind of laser focus in on one topic that could really get us to the next level as far as people who view it.
Of our podcasting careers.
Yes, we wanted to.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I do, because I think there are hot button things. Relationships is one, but even a bigger one, I think, more controversial, more exciting,
Yeah.
is aliens, terrestrial beings.
Aliens, terrestrial beings.
Yeah, yeah, and flying saucers and all that stuff that people see. And in fact, there was just a flying saucer in our area, Jack.
Okay.
Over Thousand Oaks. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. You might have a little trouble with this. In Thousand Oaks, the 101 freeway. You're not a believer, are you?
Okay, well, take it from the top. Look, I want to expand the podcast universe for us more than anything in life.
Yeah.
And I do want to hone in on what the research department was telling us, that we should find a niche.
A little niche.
Is it niche or niche or what the hell?
No,
How do you?
It's niche.
Okay, it's okay.
You're good.
I digress. I do want to find a niche that we can hone in on.
Okay.
But I find a lot of that, and not to use an old expression, but the UFOs and the extraterrestrials and the aliens, so much hooey.
You don't believe any of it.
No, flapdoodle. I think it's
Ghosts? You ghosts?
don't believe
That's
in that
part
either.
of it. We should talk about ghosts, because
All right. Well,
I
look,
believe in ghosts. I believe in that there's a spirit and you can feel it in the room. I've actually been in rooms where we've had the woman come in, call up the ghosts, and you find out that this person, this being, this spirit, knows what's going on, is there for a reason. It's really, really weird. You get tingles on your arm and you get stuff up your back, little.
yeah. Hairs are going up on your
Oh my
back.
God. And a wind on your neck. We've had that all.
Are
So
you serious? Well, okay.
I'm deadly serious.
Okay. Well, I'm not a believer, and mainly the reason is, I'm not being judgmental,
Mhm.
but I'm more of remember I told you in college, I majored in radio and TV, which was useless as a submarine with screen
Boy,
doors.
did you get bad information.
I don't know who gave me that advice to go get into the radio and TV.
Radio? Okay.
Not exactly a happening business, but anyway.
Yeah.
And I minored in geology.
Well, you were 0 for 2.
Right. Well, but like with geology, I can understand, because rocks are, sediment is laid, rocks can get pushed up by, plate tectonics. Yeah, well, it's boring. Well, you could be bored all you want, Paul, and you can yawn all you want, Broseph. But let me tell you something. You talking about, ghosts and UFOs over the 101 freeway.
Well, listen, you're not going to get a little tingly sensation and wind on your neck when you're talking about the layers of a rock.
Oh, no, when
You
I
are
see,
going to get it
well,
when you get in a room. I'm going to get you in the room with this woman. I've got her number.
Yeah.
She will call up ghosts and she will make things happen, and you will love it. I
right, well,
promise.
okay, look, I'm open for anything. As you know, I'm not a judgmental person, although I do like
Right.
to judge.
You like to judge. Yes.
But if I wasn't a judgmental person,
Mhm.
I'd say, okay, I'm open to almost anything. Now, okay, this edition of the Producers Podcast
Yes.
will be alien centric.
Okay. And I want to do one on ghosts next. We'll do ghosts.
Oh, terrific. Can't wait.
the whole thing. We can do weeks and weeks on ghosts.
All right. Well, let's take it from the top. You're telling me, and now I didn't realize you had sent me some pictures.
Yes.
All right. So what you sent me was, let's start with this. You sent me this picture.
Okay.
All
That's over the 101 freeway in Thousand Oaks, the one I was speaking of.
Okay.
Take a look at that. That's real. See, it's even on TMZ.
Yeah, that's real, Paul. That's real phony. Doesn't that look fake to you? I'm sorry, take it back. What are you telling me is real in that picture?
Well, the light up there with that giant red arrow is pointing to something in the sky. Now, could it be a hovercraft of some kind? Could it be a drone?
Right.
It doesn't look like a drone, but
Right.
it could be a drone. But what I'm saying is you have to open your mind and entertain the idea that this could be something more. If you are going to sit in that chair and tell me that you think we're the only people in this universe, the only living species,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you you're crazy.
Well, I'm telling you that. And the reason I'm telling you that is because it seems that the atmosphere of the earth allows life forms like you and me.
Right.
It looks like, and just in this universe, however many planets there are, 9 or whatever, that doesn't look to be that sort of atmosphere that would allow for different life forms. So where are these? Okay, hold on. Let me give you another shot that you want me to post.
Right.
This is the close-up of this.
Get the zoom in. Look at that. Does that look like something we fly around in?
Well,
honestly, what is that?
What does it look like? It looks like a bat signal. Or it looks like a
it looks like
Photoshop version of a embryo.
It looks like a UFO. That's what.
Okay, stop. UFOs are unidentified flying objects.
Correct.
If you're telling me that that's an unidentified flying object,
would you
I'll meet you halfway.
Okay.
It's totally unidentified, but it's not from outer space. And why would they be at Agoura Hills and the 101 freeway? They must be off target. Aren't they supposed to be in the desert? Or
everybody knows that the best mall in the city, right there. I mean, come on, Jack. You ask silly questions.
All right. Well,
seriously.
No, I can't.
Come on. It's some of the best restaurants right along Ventura Boulevard.
So they're looking for some nice Mexican food, and
they might be looking for that. Maybe a little Thai. How about some Thai? You never know what they're looking for, but the idea is, and we have to stick to the idea. You have to be open your mind to the fact that you say that this planet can only sustain life. I tell you that we adjust. Things adjust. It's evolution. You can adjust. Creatures can adjust to very little oxygen, in another planet. They can adjust to anything, right?
Don't you think? And there again, here's another shot of the arrow.
Okay.
Crediting TMZ for this.
Yeah, they have the best arrows, by the way.
They're good with the arrows.
Yeah, I love their arrows.
But you're telling me that little blob of white stuff is yes, it's unidentified, but let me tell you something. It's probably photoshopped. And that's my problem. All right.
So listen, there's not a UFO that doesn't know about In-N-Out burgers. And I would venture to say maybe they hovered down to get something.
But now you're joking, Paul.
I am joking because you can't take this entirely seriously, but you can't write it off either, because there's too many planets, too many universes out there, too many stars, everything for you just to say, there's nobody here but us.
Well, the reason I'm saying that is because the universe is so large and there are so many stars, and every star is a sun.
Right.
So things are spinning around those stars. I get all that. I also took a lot of astronomy and I enjoyed it very much. And I'll be yawning again with the astronomy. So what you're telling me is somewhere in these distant planets, in a land far, far away,
far
or whatever,
yes,
that there are people that look like you and me, who strapped on the jetpacks, got in the flying saucer, and decided to come to the 101 freeway at Agora Hills and pick up some In-N-Out burger.
It's possible.
No, it's not.
It's
Stop.
possible.
I love you unconditionally. It's not possible. It's
It is
silly.
possible.
No.
What would you do for a double-double?
Well, I would drive to In-N-Out Burger and I'd get my lunch, but I don't think I'm going to run into any people from other planets. Look, here's what it is. It's people, I guess, like you and others that are making this fairy tale up because it's like the unexplained. Now, if I see a light in the sky in Ventura County, California, I might say, wow, there's a naval air base right over there at Point Hueneme.
Right.
And maybe they're shooting off a couple of F-15s around or some ballistic missiles, or I don't even know what they do. That makes sense to me. But to assume,
well, that's a good way to justify it. See, maybe you're one of those people that you need to justify everything. If I tell you there's
yes, I do. I need to justify things.
Yeah, right. So
don't you? You just go willy-nilly and go, yeah.
I don't go willy-nilly, but I open my mind to the possibilities that we are not the only creatures, the only insects, the only living species in the universe. I don't believe we are. I think the universe is vast.
Yeah.
Far, far away from where we can even see. A lot of these places, they say it would take, if someone was trying to communicate with us from another universe, it could take up to 1 million years for their first communication to even get.
Right. Light years.
Yeah.
The light travel.
You just don't want to say hi.
And then, well, what do they want? I mean, what are they looking for? By the way, it's even like us, where some of these people, let's go populate the moon or let's go live on Mars. I'm good. I got enough problems with my house. I don't need to go on Mars or Pluto or Jupiter or any of that crap. And by the way, real quick, I have one more picture to show you because while we were talking, I Googled aliens.
Oh,
yeah, and this came up as a UFO. Now that's it's phony baloney. It's like Photoshop.
That was on my cereal box when I was a kid. In fact, I think you'd buy the cereal boxes because one of those would be inside. So that's like an atypical,
Well, that's the problem, Paul. Everybody makes up the same story, so they go back to their go-to,
right?
Which is like a flying saucer, that looks like that,
right?
And it's going to land, vertically. It's going to go straight down like a helicopter. It's going to hover. It's like a hovercraft.
Yes.
What a bunch of hooey.
And then those burgers from In-N-Out, they just kind of suck them right. Away they go.
Well, okay. So
I know it's a far-fetch. I know it's a lot to ask.
It is far-fetched. Now, I do have another question about this now that you're bringing up aliens on the Producers Podcast. With Tall Paul Joseph, I'm Jack Silver. And if you came looking for some weird commercials or courtside Karens or country artists dropping the N-bomb, you came to the wrong place, because now
we're talking aliens and ghosts, and we're going to do this. I mean, this is now our niche. I like this because.
All right. Well, I'm good with it. All right. So I have a question about this.
Yeah.
There seems to be, like, for example, an area in Nevada.
Oh, yes.
The desert of Nevada. when they're not, playing slot machines and blackjack.
Right.
They're out there in the desert of Nevada.
Well, about 120 miles from Las Vegas.
Okay. And that's called Area
51.
Okay. Now, what is that cockamamie BS?
Well, it's a combination of things. Okay. It is, first of all, the size of it, to give you an idea, you could take Delaware and Rhode Island, the size of that, double it, and that's about the size of this Area 51.
Okay.
It's huge. It's like the size of Connecticut.
Okay.
And it's,
then why?
Well, because it got started with UFOs because it's so vast. They don't let anybody near it because they built the U-2 spy plane there. They built our spy planes there. Figured. Okay. So
I'm good with that.
Okay. Yeah. So the Black Hawk, all this stuff, Blackbird, whatever it was.
Black Hawk helicopters?
No. It's a spy plane. I think it's the Blackbird, I think it is.
Okay.
But it's the next generation after the U-2. This thing flies at 80,000 feet, totally undetected. and can get all the information it wants. It's so high they can't detect it. They shot down the U-2 back years ago.
Well, here,
Yes.
stop for a second. Stop.
Yeah, yeah.
I like everything you're talking about. So that must be the American military
Mhm.
is building bombers and spy planes in the
Developing
desert
them there.
of Nevada.
Mhm.
Where in your wildest dreams and imagination does, my uncle, the Martian, and Mr. Pluto and, ET, of all the places in the universes,
Right.
which is vast,
Mhm.
how did they hone in on 120 miles outside of Las Vegas?
Well, because Area 51 is one of the most well-guarded and secretive areas in the world because of what it does. And I think some of that added to the mystique that they also keep UFOs there. People really believe that if you could break down those gates and get in there, you're going to find some UFO stuff. You're going to find maybe some alien bodies. Now,
I
who
mean,
knows
wait,
if
stop.
that's
Whoa,
true or
whoa,
not.
whoa. Alien bodies?
Yeah, alien bodies.
No,
They
no.
out in the desert, they found these things that they think might be alien bodies. The government doesn't tell you everything. Would you
Hey.
believe that?
Don't give me-
Do you believe our government tells us everything?
First of all, don't give me the furrowed brow and go, yes. No, I don't believe the government tells us everything. I
Okay.
don't. Okay.
That's a good start.
But here's what I don't believe.
What?
I don't believe that somewhere in Nevada they're housing aliens and UFOs. And by the way, for what reason? Why wouldn't they just say, "Hey, look at this. Here's a spaceship. We think it came from Neptune, and
Mhm.
have a look at this damn thing."
What do you think that would do to the general population if they said, we've got aliens here, we've got all this stuff that's kind of
It couldn't
invading
make it any
our
worse.
planet?
No, everyone's already out of their minds as it is with these
Right.
conspiracy theories and
Right.
stories and fairy tales. So, all right. Well, listen. All right. So that area, we'll get into that too, because I remember, speaking of radio,
Mhm.
which we were earlier, Art Bell was a big
Oh, yeah.
radio guy.
He used to live in a trailer out near there. I think.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
did. And who knows what was going on in that trailer, by the by.
That's some wacky stuff.
Well, some wacky stuff, but and he did a show for years, and I think it's still on, where
Yeah.
they talk about all this stuff.
Right.
But my point is, so if you and I went out to that area, even though we
Yeah.
couldn't get into the confidential part,
Not near it.
if we stood there and looked up at the sky
Uh-huh.
every night for the next 10 years,
Okay.
I say we won't see a damn thing.
A decade of looking and you say nothing.
I say my neck would be,
We could lay down and put our heads on pillows.
I'd have a crick in my neck
Yeah.
from looking. Oh, and I said, now, do I think that you could see a shooting star where
Yeah.
meteorites and meteors go through the sky, and you might think that that's a UFO? Maybe.
Maybe.
Do I think that you might see some planetary action up there that looks a little peculiar? Yes, I do. Do I think that ET and Quisp from the old cereal box, which is a very old reference?
I don't know. I don't even know.
Well,
Chris.
look it up, kids. It was an old cereal. When I
I'm
was a
writing it
kid.
down.
Quisp, Quisp. was a cereal.
QUISP.
Yeah. And it was a little
Quisp.
Martian, and the
Okay.
cereal was shaped like flying saucers.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll look it up.
if Quisp is flying around,
Yeah.
I mean,
It is in your head anyway.
Well, here's the thing. Say this crap out loud,
Yeah.
and it sounds a little loopy.
It sounds far-fetched. I agree. But that just because my whole point is this is what I would like to open your mind to, that there is a possibility that there are other beings, living things, not necessarily that look like us,
Yeah.
but whatever their universe made them look like,
Yeah.
and they are around us. And, I think it'd be very hard to argue against that with the amount of universe there is out
Okay. I'll meet you like an eighth of the way on that one.
there. Okay.
Okay. Here, I'll push back. Why then, out of
Mhm.
the entire universe,
Mhm.
why would they pinpoint this little blue planet in the solar system with the sun and a few other, Mercury and Neptune and Uranus? Why would they want to go up
Let's
Uranus?
keep personal things.
Oh, Christ.
No,
No,
the
seriously.
I think we have probably next to what, the moon and Mars. We have the most perfect setting to live in, and that
Right.
might be attractive to them. They might be far advanced of us, and they realize that if we get rid of these schmoes that live on this, we look like ants to them, just all
Yeah.
running all over the thing. If we get rid of these people, we can populate that with our own living organisms and
So
have
you're-
a perfect universe.
You're saying that the people from Pluto and beyond, or the other, they want to come here, get rid of all of us, and populate the world, our world, with a bunch of ETs. Now, Paul, look, I love
Why
you.
not?
Why not? Okay, I've got to rearrange my sock drawer. I'm very busy today, and I can't talk.
I know
more.
this is far. Listen, I appreciate you just opening your mind to the
Well,
possibility.
it's considered open, and,
Yeah.
and by the way,
I
going
can't
back.
wait when we talk about ghosts to hear your take on that, because
Oh,
I have some real evidence for you, my friend.
You're going to get an earful. But listen,
Yeah.
if it helps the Producers Podcast
Mhm.
expand its, pardon the pun, universe, and if people are very interested in conversations regarding aliens, UFOs, and extraterrestrial life,
Right.
then who am I to swim upstream?
Well, I think that's a good point.
All right, so
Yeah,
I'm in,
I
but
think there is. There are people out there that have been waiting for information on this for decades, for the military to release, and they have released some information, and their servers were hit with 622,000 people instantly that wanted to get information.
the next
So
time
maybe
you drive,
some of our viewers can make comments as
Yeah.
to if they're believers, if they
Yeah.
think it's possible for this to happen.
okay, because I'll leave you with the look of the big red arrow that's
Yes.
going at the little bright light in the sky over the 101 freeway at Agoura Hills.
Yeah, what is that?
What is that? Here's what it is. It's Photoshop. Now,
Okay.
all right. Now, one last thing on the table, Paul Joseph.
Yes.
We have to just cover the Super Bowl. I know it's not extraterrestrial. I know it's not UFO. I know it's got.
Well, kind of is, because I believe Mahomes may have been infiltrated by an alien.
Okay. Well, he is that super talented.
No, I believe it. I don't think he's human.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if you look at him kind of the way he looks, sometimes he tilts his head a little bit, like he's thinking with far above us. His thoughts are far above us. He's walking and all of a sudden he goes like that. And it's like the guy's been infiltrated by some superhuman power, above human.
Okay.
He's too good.
All right. Well, then that's a great transition.
Yeah.
Quick talk about the Super Bowl, because we've been
Yes.
following it all season.
Yep.
I'll just get started real quick, because this week I've done some radio tours with the people I work with who are calling the game on radio,
Right.
Super Bowl Sunday in Tampa. And here were some of the takeaways.
Yeah.
The score should be in the 30s. It's going to be a bit of a shootout. Not surprising with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. B, Kansas City is at a little bit of a disadvantage because they have 3 backup offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a trouble to protect Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
C, the same defense that got to Aaron Rodgers 5 times in the NFC Championship game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive front, should have a pretty good day against those backup offensive linemen. The tight ends on both teams, Gronk and Travis Kelce, should probably play a role in some way, because those are like secret weapons for both guys.
Right.
Both Tom Brady feels comfortable with his number 87, and I believe Travis Kelce's 87 too. And Patrick Mahomes feels comfortable with his tight end. And the last one is the running game on both sides. Forget the super pass receivers, wide receivers on both teams. That's a given. Tyreek Hill and those guys on the Chiefs, and the wide receivers of the Bucs. But the running game on both sides could play a big role. So I'm picking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because I'm not going against Tom Brady. This would be his 7th Super Bowl win. And if he gets it, he's already the GOAT, the greatest of all time. If Patrick Mahomes wins 2 Super Bowls before you're 25, that's one hell of a storyline. How say you?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. So,
well, I like that. I like your thinking. I think the point of this is the Bucs win if they can hold down Mahomes. The way you do that, you have to control the ball.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't see it as that high a scoring game because I think if it is, then it's out of control. And I think that Kansas City wins if it's a high scoring game. If it's a low scoring game, I give it to the Bucks, but it's all going to pivot on if the Bucks defense can hold down Mahomes. But more than that, if the offense can keep the ball on the ground
Yeah.
and use up the time on the clock, because every time you give the ball back to Mahomes, he scores. So when it's 4th and 3 on anything past the 40-yard line, your own 40, and it's 4th and 3, guess
Go
what?
for it. Yeah.
Got to go for it. You have to. If you give the ball back, kick it and give it back to Mahomes, he's coming all the way back.
Yeah.
That would be my coaching strategy. Keep the ball with our offense on the ground, short slant passes by Brady, to Gronk, to whomever, to Miller, but don't give that ball back under any circumstances.
Yeah.
And go on 4th and 2, 4th and 3. You've got to go.
So you're picking the Chiefs?
I'm picking the Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm picking the Chiefs too. And Tom Brady's my boy, but I just think the secret weapon here is Tyreek Hill. And used properly, him outside, Kelsey inside, it's too much to defend.
Well, what they're talking about on the Sports Talk, and we'll wrap this up, is bump those guys off the line of scrimmage. Don't let Tyreek Hill get a straight shot down the field. Start with that. And one last question, Tall Paul.
Yeah.
Coin flip. So say you're either team. You're Tampa.
Okay.
And you get the coin flip and you win. So you call heads, it comes up heads. Do you keep the ball for your first possession, or do you defer and get it to start the second half?
No, I keep the ball because that's my strategy.
Right.
I want to use up the clock. I want to win that first. I don't care about the second half. I got to go into that second half in a low score.
Yes.
I've got to get the ball. I've got to keep the ball. Like I said, keep it on the ground.
Okay, cool. Because I agree with that. There's this big thing where everyone keeps deferring. Oh, we want the ball to start the second half. No, if you're Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, let those guys get going.
Right.
Stretch it out, score first and often. So I don't know why they do that, but I would say that.
Yeah. So you got to stick with that one strategy, I think, to be successful against Mahomes. If you don't, you're going to find yourself down 27-6 at the end of 3 quarters.
Which is what you don't want. All right. Good luck on Super Bowl 55.
You too.
I've really enjoyed the alien talk and the UFO talk, and that's the new niche for the Producers Podcast. I'm Jack Silver. He's Tall Paul Joseph.
Yes.
We'll catch you next time.
See you.